Jazakallah. Thank you, Brother Shaikh. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we will start the question and answer session. But before I invite you to come up and ask questions, let me explain to you the process one more time. The ladies will be given a chance first, and then the gentlemen. When you come to the mic, please restrict your question to the subject which has been discussed, and be precise in your question. Ask your question one at a time so that other people also get a chance. Now, if there is a question from the ladies section, I request all of them to please come up and make a queue on my right hand side. The mic is placed right here.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum.
Okay, there's this ayat, Al-Araf 7 ki 126 on page 13. This ayat mentioned that, and you take revenge from us except that we believe with the ayat signs of our Lord and when they come to us. So, like you have mentioned that when we start following, so people have like certain amount of, they have a desire for vengeance towards us and they have certain contempt. So like if they have it, should we mention this ayat in front of them?
Oh, you see, you must first understand why. You see, this is when you are implementing, you are changing, so vengeances will come. So first of all, I think they will do it. They will try their best to harm you. But the question is, Allah will not. You can talk to this. You talk to them. You can refer. That's why I'm referring this ayat. People are taking vengeance. You can show these appeals. It's going on in the world. But remember, these kind of people are like pharaohs. The personality character trait of a pharaoh, Firaun. He is the person. His people. They are the people who take vengeance in this particular context. So in this world, who are trying to behave like one, he will take vengeance. He will try to do the same thing because if he wants to implement that, you see the context. I'm telling you, before I read this, I explained the context of this ayah, because you must remember that it is not with every people like this. It is the situation in the world. If people are trying to take vengeance, then he must be following the similar character trait of the Firaun and his followers. Not everybody. If he is under the influence or the...
A lot of people try to take out vengeance, but not up to the extent that Firaun...
No. I am saying is not a lot of... Why should a lot of people be taking vengeance against you or practicing the ayahs? I'm telling you, it is those people. Remember, it is those people who are trying to develop a character trait of a Firaun and his people. There must be a similarity must be there. If there is no similarity, then you cannot say that he is taking a vengeance on us.
Okay.
That is why I was trying to say that I gave you the context. It is the magicians who, when they saw Musa Islam's miracle, which was given by Allah to him, and they saw the truth, which knocks the falsehood of the magician, they agreed, they believed. So they believed and submitted. Once they submitted, the people, Firaun's people said, I will call Musa, who gave you the permission to believe when I did not give you the permission? How did you? And I'll cut off your hands hands and feet from opposite sides. So they said, this is their contest. You take vengeance from us, just because the ayahs have come to us. وَمَا تَنْقِمْ مِنَّا إِلَّا أَنْ آمَنَّا بِآيَاتِ رَبِّنَا لَمَّا جَاءَتْنَا. When the ayahs came to us, you take vengeance because we believe in the ayahs. Look at the vengeance, because now we believe in the ayahs. Because the context is this incident. So Rabbana afriq alayna sabra. So your job is to take this, you believe this. You can narrate these verses, but not directly that you are behaving like a Firaun. That would not suit you. But I say it may happen. That's why I referred to the context and said it may happen to us also. So we must always be sure about it if people are behaving like one. Because if they're not, then that ayat may not apply to them.
It's not a good idea to point it out to them.
You just educate this happened in the past with Firaun's people.
Okay.
In this context.
In a nice way.
No, not exactly. The context of this is with Firaun and his people. Na?
Right.
You can say with Musa Islam, they went and delivered the message, and this is what happened.
Not directly pointing out, but giving the message.
That is the right way of doing it.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Inessa Rahman.
Wa alaikum assalam.
My question is from 6835. in which Allah Ta'ala says, shall we treat the Muslim submitters like the mujrim criminals? So my question is, who are mujrim criminals? I mean, a person who is not submitting or unbeliever is a criminal, or a person who is hijacking or killing, is that a criminal?
Okay, Brother Shaikh.
In the word criminal, you're asking the meaning of the criminal is a person, not only a person who is hijacking, any person who is doing crimes. Like if he murders, he's a criminal. And if he rapes somebody, he's a criminal of that. Any person who is doing crimes by who is not, there are certain rules and regulations in the Quran, and he's committing these crimes, he's a criminal, established criminal. The person, mujrim is a person who is established criminal in the eyes of God. Now there are persons that we say that this person may have committed a crime or not, then he goes for a trial. That when the crime is established on him, then he is supposed to be a criminal. But when Allah is using this word, mujrim means he is established criminal who has committed crimes in life. So Allah is telling the person who is submitted for Allah, telling the people that how can you say, do you say that the person, that I translate differently, that do you, that Allah said, she said, afa naj'alul muslimin, do we make Muslims like criminals? That Allah is making Muslims and you are saying they are like criminals. Allah is not making Muslims like criminals. The criminals are criminals. So in the world, when we say the people are doing crimes and we are saying they are Muslims, so we are saying that na'uzubillah, that Allah is like that, Allah is making this. No. So Allah said, do we make Muslims like criminals? I am not making Muslims. Allah is making Muslims. Submitters. For I end my lecture by saying, Allah, you make us Muslims. So when Allah makes a Muslim, then he is not like a criminal. He is not like a criminal. He is not doing crimes. Who is a submitter to Allah, when Allah is making Muslims for him, he is not a criminal. So that is what Allah is saying. Do we make Muslims like criminals? That Allah is making Muslims submitters for Allah. When Allah is making Muslims submitters, they are not like criminals, as people who are committing crimes in the world. So people who are committing crimes in the world, they are not Muslim submitters for Allah. Ji.
And my second question is, on page 5 and 6, the testament that Hazrat Yaqub alayhi salam and Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam have given for their sons. So can we also do the same? I mean, for our children, like
we have to. What do we? That is the example of Yaqub alayhi salam. Ya banayya inna Allah wawassa biha Ibrahim bani wa Yaqub ya banayya inna Allah astafa lakum ad-dina fala tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. And with this Ibrahim and Yaqub, Jacob left the testament for his sons. Oh my sons, surely Allah has chosen you for you at deen, the judgment, that do not die except you are Muslim submitters. So this ayah is identifying that the Yaqub al-Islam and Ibrahim al-Islam left the testament behind, that the people should take the judgment and they should not die except they are Muslim submitters. So this ayah, we are reading it, we are getting the message right now. So this ayat will be giving it to our people, to the offspring, that they should be aware that they should lead a submitter life to Allah, for Allah. And the testament will be from Yaqub al-Islam and Ibrahim al-Islam. We can always educate them that they should be like this.
Like our children, we should educate them. Like,
of course, we should educate them, but we should, the best of the tarka we should left behind is that they should die as, so this is the best of the tarka, or wasiyat. That's the best testament. Not this Old Testament and the New Testament of the Christians, this Old Testament and the New Testament. Actually, this is the testament they're looking for. They've forgotten this testament.
Thank you. My name is Gulnar Khanam. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
My question is from Surah Al-Hijr 15, Ayat 2, page 13 and 14. Here, by understanding the ayat, I have a question that the people who are wishing to be Muslims, to become submitters, and they are rejecting, like in true sense, like they are disguising. Why they are doing so? Why?
No, actually, actually I'm telling you, if you read any ayat to anybody, I said any ayat to anybody, he will submit. He said this is right, I agree. Now because you see everybody wants to affiliate himself to the reality of truth and right thing. Everybody wants to, what is truth and what is right, everybody wants to affiliate to that. So the Muslim Islam is a true, the judgment of to attain peace is true. What Allah said in the ayat is true. So everybody affiliates to this. If you show an ayat to anybody, he will say, I agree, I submit. But he will not follow. Since he is rejecting and is not following, so he said, I submit. So he is Muslim. But that is wishful thinking, because he knows that this Islam and the judgment is so true, you cannot say that is wrong. So people want to be with the right people, with the right system. So in other words, he will say, yes, I agree, I submit to the ayahs. But actually he is rejecting because he is not following. You are asking why? Because actually it is not true when he says that I submit. He will say, I agree, this is true, but I have been programmed into this kind of schools of thought. Every human being which I have discussed in my life, he said, I submit to the ayat. But he will bring his but. My family members, my history, I was programmed into like this. So we, in our family members, and we are thinking like that. Or in the environment, people are thinking like that. You are saying something new. But this is true. Why can't other people see this? This is true, this is right. So basically he's submitting. But at the same time he's rejecting because he's not implementing. So the moment he implements, that is how, that is the right way. But he doesn't because of the environment, because he's been programmed into certain things. And then he only say he wished for be a Muslim. Again he's wishing, I should be a Muslim, I should be a Muslim submitter, I should be. And he will also, yes, I am not practicing, I should fast, I should pray, I should do this, and I understand, I must do this. So, but he will not. So it is again, an example is that, for example, a person who is involved in drinking, in his true sense, you ask him, yes, I know it is wrong. The first sentence he will use, I know it is wrong, but I am addicted to it, and now this, I am trying to leave, but I am doing this. So wishful thinking is he wants to submit to leave it. Wishfully he wants to leave it, that's his submission. Because of this ayat, Allah said, do not drink. So the thing is, he is agreeing. So any person who is involved in the wrong acts and he is not practicing the right act, he will wish to do that. He will wish to submit, but he is rejecting, he is not doing it. So what I am saying, in any ayat of the Quran, people wish to submit. Yes, I know it is wrong. I know I should not drink. I know that I have lost in gambling so much of my money. I know it is wrong. But another time, he will be sitting and playing it. This is my last time. I will do it, then I will not. Then I said I will not do it. This is again, people are involved in wrong things, thinking that, oh, let me do this last time. I will not do it again. So that is submitting. But in the true sense, he is a rejecter of the ayahs. He must submit and implement. He must not play two games. This is Allah says, that is why reject. This is how he is becoming a criminal also. Further he will go to big crimes, do big crimes. So what ayat is saying, again and again, those who reject, wish that they were Muslim submitters. They are just wishing to be submitters, but in the true sense they are rejecting all their lives. So I was trying to tell you that in the life, people, whenever the understanding of the message is true to them, they submit, but they don't implement. Because they are addicted, their feelings are so much attached to the wrongdoings and or not even practicing the right things, are addicted to wrongs, so they wish that they would be Muslim. Yes, I know we should be Muslim, we should pray, we should understand, read the Quran in translation, we should understand and Quran read this, we should do this. If you educate them, they say, yes, we should do all this, but we are not doing it.
Like not sincerely following it.
They say we are not doing it. We should do it. They say we should do it. But we know, I'll try, inshallah I'll do this, inshallah I'll. What I'll? Your age is passing by, the more you think I'll, you're becoming like that. You have to kill the nafs, the psychology of the wrong, you have to do it. That is how you are not a rejecter, you are a Muslim for Allah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
My name is Faraz Ahmad,
Ji.
and I am asking the question from Al-Imran 384.
Ji.
So there is a mention ayat la nufarriqu baina ahadim minhum. So according this ayat, the people say that sabse awla wa ala hamara nabi. This is, I think, as far as this is wrong. According
What
this
did you say
ayat,
in English? La nufarriqu bayna, we do not make difference among
Yeah.
any of them.
We do not make difference, or we do not categorize any prophet as a bigger or
Small.
small. So this is to say that by the people, I listen by many people. So I think as far this is wrong. What's your opinion about?
Okay. You are actually he's saying you are trying to say that Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the more higher
More higher.
than the other prophets.
Yeah. No, it is. I mean, it is a concept of the peoples.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
So now you if you look at Surah Al-Baqarah 2 and Ayah 253, you can note down the reference.
Okay.
Okay. Surah Al-Baqarah 2 and Ayah 253. Tilka rusulu faddalna ba'dahum ala ba'd. Minhum man kallama Allah wa rafa'a ba'dahum darajat. Okay.
Okay.
So in this ayah, if you read, his question I was, first of all, let me clarify, maybe his question was not clear. He's saying that we should not make distinction among the prophets. We should not make any difference among any of the prophets, and we are Muslim submitters for him. So now I would like to explain the situation that in this Surah Al-Baqarah 2 and Ayah 253, Tilka rusulu faddalna ba'dahum ala ba'd. Minhum man kallama Allahu wa rafa'a ba'dahum darajat. These are the messengers whom we endowed with gifts, or we gave fazl for some of them over some, and among them to whom we spoke, kallama, minhum man kallama Allah, wa rafa'a ba'dahum darajat, and we raised some of them in darajat. Darajat is status,
Okay.
or daraja in degree, in grades. So there are messengers whom Allah has given grades. Allah has raised them in grades. You understand this?
Yeah.
So Allah said, some of them Allah has raised him in grades. Faddalna ba'dhum ala ba'd. Some He has bestowed more, like Sulaiman. Now we see how the Quran, how the messengers are. Sulaiman was given the kingdom of in this world as no messenger has been given. Sulaiman, and his son Dawud al-Islam. He was the Khalifa. Dawud al-Islam was the Khalifa on this earth planet. That was by name. If you want to find out who is the Khalifa, Khalifa means the viceroy or vice regent in this planet earth, is by name is Dawud al-Islam. Okay. Who is the Imam? The leader, Ibrahim al-Islam. To whom Allah spoke directly is Musa al-Islam. To whom Allah strengthened with His Spirit is Isa al-Islam. And for Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Allah loves Allah. We're talking about the honor in Allah is in Surah 68 Qalam. Innaka la'ala khuluqin azim. Innaka la'ala khuluqin azim. Surely Allah says to Muhammad Rasulullah that you are exalted in the most azim character, moral character, khuluqin azim. That is what Allah gave to Muhammad Rasulullah. So we must always go as we faddalna. We can't say that Ibrahim al-Islam is khuluqan azim. We can't say Nuh al-Islam is khuluqan azim. Innaka. Now this is referring to Muhammad Rasulullah as the la'ala, honored, raised. Allah, this is Allah, khuluqan azim. The most azim khalqat.
I mean,
character. Hold on, just one minute, let me complete my. So these prophets to whom Allah gave the degree, darajah, we must believe according to the darajat or the degrees that Allah has given. So if Allah has made him the khuluqan azim, then we must believe he is the khuluqan azim. We cannot attribute this khuluqan azim, the most good moral character, to any other person. They have got a character, they are good, the best of the characters, all the prophets. All the prophets, Ibrahim al-Islam, the Imam, the leader, and the Khalifa is Dawud al-Islam, and the kingdom was given to Sulaiman al-Islam, and Isa al-Islam was strengthened by the Spirit, and Musa al-Islam, Allah spoke, and there are other prophets and so and so, so and so. But what I am saying, when Allah says, Innaka la khuluqan azim, so he is the khuluqan azim. This is what I am saying.
Right. So I am saying that we cannot categorize the prophet that he is the superior than, okay, every prophet is superior than. But
No, hold on. You're not following. There is a difference among the prophets. Allah said to Muhammad Rasulullah that he is the Ala, Khuluqan Azim. So Allah is giving this honor. So I must believe in this honor. He is the Khuluqan Azim, that he is the most high and honorable good character. That is what Allah says to him. You understand now?
Okay.
Now you can't give this honor to other prophets. They are of good character, but he is the most high. So you have to believe the way. You cannot subtract this character from him. So this is the honor that is given to some. Allah has given the degrees. So according to the degrees, according to the rajat, we must believe. And we should not make differences. That Isa Salam he was strengthened by the Spirit. You say Muhammad Rasulullah was Ruhullah. We can't make this difference. We can't change the attributes or the darjat that Allah has given to some above others. So whatever the degree or the darja is given by Allah to anyone, we must refrain it to it. We will not make this difference. Okay, this degree, you put this degree to other person. We must follow and believe according to the degrees of the darjat given to other prophets. Like Ibrahim Islam, the Imam, all mankind. So you can't put this Imam on Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that he is the Imam for all mankind. You cannot do this. Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is the Khatam al-Nabiyeen. He is the seal of the prophets. You can't say Ibrahim Islam is the seal of the prophets. So then you will be making difference. La nufarriqu bayna ahadim minhum. We do not make difference or distinction among any one of them. We believe as they are being darajat given by Allah to various degrees and various darajat to other prophets. So we believe in that context. We will not make differences. Now you understand? If he said Allah, innaka la khuluqun azim, we believe that.
okay.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
The question refers to Surah Al-Baqara, ayat 133, page number 5.
Yeah.
It's written here, were you witness when death came to Jacob, and when he said for his sons, you will serve after me? So the question relates to the first, part of this. Were you witness? Why is this being emphasized in this particular ayat? Why is Allah asking us as to whether we were witness to this particular occurrence? Is there any particular reason for this?
Actually, this is a question that Allah is posing, because generally, there is an ayat in the Quran. If you refer to that, if you look in Surah Al-Baqara 2:140 ayat. Al-Baqara 2:140. The question is, brother is asking that why Allah is saying, were you a witness when the death came to Yaqub alayhi salam, when the death was nearing to Yaqub alayhi salam, and what did he said? What was the message said by him? If you look at the context, in one of the ayat in the Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah 2, ayah 140, أَن تَقُولُونَ إِنَّ إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَإِسْمَاعِيلَ وَإِسْحَاقَ وَيَعْقُوبَ وَالْأَسْبَاطِ كَانُوا هُودًا أَوْ نَصَارَى قُلْ أَنْتُمْ أَعْلَمُ أَمِ اللَّهُ وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ كَتَمَ الشَّهَادَةَ عِنْدَهُ مِنَ اللَّهِ وَمَا اللَّهُ بِغَافِلٍ عَمَّا تَعْمَلُونَ. Or do you say that surely Ibrahim, Ismail and Ishaq wa Yaqub wal Asbat were Jews and Nasara, Jews and Christians? Qul antum a'lamu amillah. Say, do you know better what Allah, do you know more what Allah or Allah? And who is the most of the oppressor from who hides the witnesses from him, from Allah? And Allah is not unaware for what you are doing. Actually, why Allah is saying that were you a witness? Because the context in that ayah that who will you serve after me? And they all said we will serve the one Allah and we are Muslims. But the people in the world are referring to that these are the Jews and the Christians. This Ibrahim al-Islam, Ismail al-Islam, Ishaq al-Islam, Yaqub al-Islam, they are all Jews and Nasara. Today also they are referred as Jewish prophets. So this is the context that Allah is posing a question. Were you a witness? What happened what they said? All these prophets said we are Muslims. So Muslim is supposed to be starting after Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That is the concept. So Allah said, were you a witness at that time when the death approaches to you? When to Ibrahim, Yaqub al-Islam, and he said, whom you will serve after me? And they said, we will serve your father, your Lord of your Allah, your Ilah. We will serve the Ilah of your ancestor, the Ibrahim and Ismail and Ishaq. Ilahu wahida wa nahlu muslimun. First of all, the serving of Allah is one and we are Muslims. So they are referring, these people are referring to the worldly people, are referring, these Ibrahim Islam, Ismail Sahab, Ishaq Islam, Yaqub, they are referring that they were Jews, the Jewish prophets. To this context, and another ayat in Surah Al-Imran 375, Allah said Ibrahim was not a Yahudi or Nasara, but he was a Muslim. Why Allah is trying to clarify? You look in the 367 ayat, ما كان إبراهيم يهوديا ولا نصرانيا ولكن كان حنيفا مسلما وما كان من المشركين. That Ibrahim was not a Yahudi or a Nasara or a Jew or a Christian, ولكن كان حنيفا مسلما, but he was a true Muslim. وما كان من المشركين, and he was not from the associates. Why Allah is saying this? You are a witness, because these people are labeling them, all these prophets, as Jews and Nasaras. And Allah is to clarify again and again, if you note in the ayahs now, in this ayah particular to Ibrahim Islam, that he said, Ana aslim to Rabbil Alamin, or Qala aslam to Rabbil Alamin. He said, I submit for the Lord of the worlds, Ibrahim Islam, and people are saying he was a Jew. So you watch out, if you follow Ibrahim Islam and the sunnah of example of Ibrahim Islam, people will call you a Jew. So were you a witness at that time? So this is the same in circles, show this side.
Second question pertains to Al-Hajj 22, 78 verse,
Yes.
page number 7. And you strive in the way of Allah is the right of jihad, striving in the way of Him. He has chosen you and He has made no difficulty over you in Deen, the judgment. So here Allah asks us to strive to the optimum level or the best of our abilities as He has prescribed as the right of jihad. Yet in the 4th or 5th line it's mentioned that He has made no difficulty over you. So in the masses here, at least, you get to know that there is flexibility in the religion. Perhaps that they take difficulty as flexibility. So is this the case?
No. You see, in following the judgment that Allah has mentioned in the ayahs, they are very easy. Allah says, وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. If we have made the Quran easy, meanings in following, to who intends to take guidance. فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. Who is the person who wants to admonish in his life. So in that context, Allah has made it easy. So it is not the reading of the Quran only, it is the essence and the message in the Quranic ayahs it is very, that's why Allah says it is not difficult. But the one who does not want to govern his life, he says it's difficult. There is no such thing as flexibility. Allah has laid down very straight, clear, mubin, very clear governing ayahs, which if you implement is very easy. Not a difficult issue at all. It is a difficulty for those who do not want to live there. The shaitan has caught hold of him.
But as you said yesterday, you can't look for shortcuts. You just have to follow them as they are. I see. So there's no flexibility.
No
They just have to
flexibility.
be followed as they are.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Again, the same Yunus 1090 that you just discussed.
Ji.
You have mentioned that Pharaoh and his forces followed them in wrong and enmity. What we have been hearing and learned to believe, known to have believed that Pharaoh forces and his forces physically followed Musa alayhi salam in the sea, and then he drowned. The sea came down and then he drowned. You are saying that you are interpreting it as such that Pharaoh was following him, like as if he's understanding him and understanding the religion that he was trying to promote. And we know it to be that he was physically following him, the forces were following him in his chariots and things like that, and he was going there to kill him, kill the children of Israel, and the sea came over him and then he drowned. You're saying that he did not drown like that?
No, you see, the Arabic says, Jawazna bi Bani Israel Bahar. Bahar referred as sea. We took the children of Israel across the sea. Yeah, across the sea. So Pharaoh his forces followed them.
They followed them in the sea.
Hold on. In wrong and in enmity. You see, Bagyam wa Adwa. The following was, if they were just following the people, purpose was to prove him wrong, and the purpose was in enmity. And the message what Musa Islam was giving to Pharaoh was the message of Allah. Allah said to Musa Islam, go and deliver the message to Pharaoh. So Musa Islam and his brother Harun Islam, they came and delivered the message to Firaun. So then he brings the other people, for magicians are brought, and there are different occasions that you read, there are many places that message was given and they agreed also. And then after, when the punishment was removed from them, they didn't follow. So this was going on. So in that connection, they followed, I'm telling you, they followed Musa Islam, they agreed to it also, but then when the punishment was removed, the blood and all these things were given, and then it was removed. Then the moment it was removed, then again they went back. So it was again, by the essence of the other ayahs, I know they followed Musa Islam in enmity and wronging Musa Islam. So they may have drowned in the sea. That's not the issue. Drowning is, of course, in any aspect in the sea, but the point is that you should not follow messengers in enmity.
No, you just mentioned as if he died his own death, in the sense, and he did not drown. He was during the time that he learned after, suppose Musa alayhi salam and his people went.
Yes.
And after that, he realized that he was wrong and Musa's message was correct. What we are known to understand is that he drowned there and then in the sea.
Yes.
When he was following Musa alayhi salam. And
following is what I'm trying to say is followed Musa Islam. He followed Musa Islam in what aspect? Just follow, or by in enmity, or in proving him wrong, in wronging him.
There are two different meanings to what you're saying. See, what I'm saying is that he followed him physically into the sea. You are saying he followed him in another sense.
And what was the message was delivered to him? What was the message was delivered to him? In that he followed the Firaun and his people.
He followed, meaning he agreed to it, more or less.
No, followed in enmity. The intention was not to follow. Intention was to in enmity, to prove him wrong, to
find fault in him.
That's the purpose.
But he did follow physically into the sea behind him, and then he was drowned. Okay. That's what I'm trying to say. Is that what?
You see, in Arabic there is another. The Arabic word bahar is written here. It's three. When we took the children of Israel across the sea, they were across the sea. So Pharaoh and his forces followed them in wrong and enmity until he rise of drowning. Now it appears to me that apparently it doesn't say he was drowned in the sea. Adrak is the word is referred to comprehend. He comprehend hatta until when he comprehend of drowning. Comprehend of drowning. Again, the word comprehend is related to the understanding, not physical drowning. You see, the words in Arabic is not referring that he was drowning in the sea. It's just simply he may have drowned. Death can come in any way.
When he was following him.
No. The question is not how he died. He drowned in the sea. Maybe he may have drowned in the sea. The question is that the point is that I'm trying to draw from here that the person Musa Islam was the messenger of Allah, and the message was given to Firaun to take guidance. But they did not took the guidance. They followed to prove him wrong and in enmity, and finally he comprehended whatever the time factor is that he was drowning. So at that time he realized and said that I believe. So what I am trying to draw the essence from it, that physical drown of the sea is okay, drown, okay, I agree. But what was the purpose? Why he realized this? Why did he comprehend? Because all his life he was trying to follow what Musa Islam was saying. That is at the time he realized. To find out, all the time he was trying to understand what he was trying to say, what he was trying to his people. So in that connection I am saying that people, when the message is delivered to them, they listen to it and they recognize it. But because of the enmity, they don't follow in the true sense. The enmity, because of the enmity is there, and because of the to wrong the person, that is that these two factors does not let them understand. This is how it becomes a barrier of not following the essence. That is why these two words are used, that they follow فَأَتْبَعَهُمْ, they followed him, Firaun and his people, his forces, بَغْيًا وَعَدْوَى. In enmity they followed, and in wronging they followed. So that is why they drowned. The result is that because they were wrong.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
My name is Shaikh. In fact, I was not coming to ask the question because of this 10th surah and 90 ayat. I was thinking if I'm all falling in the same category. But later on I decided to come and ask the question because of the surah 3, Al-Imran. and 103 verse. Anyways, the question is that from all the verses that we have it here, I have the understanding that the Muslim word is referring to the positive. It's positive word. It's all the way throughout the ayats telling her that it is a positive word. It's not. It does not tell anywhere that a person who is following to Christianity, he's also
No, you get
a
the
Muslim.
meaning. Muslim means what means?
Muslim is submitter.
So?
So submitter to the Christianity or any other religion, right? So is there any other ayats are recorded in Quran other than what we have in the booklet? That,
There are other ayats also, Muslim
that
submitter.
tells that Muslim is a general term.
Muslim means submitter. No, don't say an English word, general term. It means submitter.
Yes, a submitter.
Okay,
But
then what you are asking
Can,
is...
can we come to know, can
Yes.
we get the point clear that this word submitter is used in any other ayats which tells us that the other religion,
It's
following
not
to the other
you
religion.
are trying to explain the word.
No.
The Muslim in Arabic means submit.
Submitter.
You see, if I submit to anything, so I am submitting to that. It may not be used in Quran, but in Arabic language, there are hundreds of people are using Ana Aslim to Bible. What are you talking?
No,
So he's saying, I am Muslim to the Bible. The Arab will say in Arabic.
So is
Arab
there-
will say, I am Muslim submitter to Christianity in Arabic language. So this is not that you are asking this word, I should show in the Quran that he is submitting to Christianity. I am using the word, the meaning. I am telling you the meaning of the word. If I submit in Arabic language, I will say Ana Aslim. Li Christianity, for Christianity. So the problem is that he will say this way. But you are asking, show me in the Quran, it's not in the Quran.
No, so
It's
there
not a word that Allah is using for other submission. But Allah has used His word for submitting for Allah. But that is why Allah is saying that they should be submitting for Allah. That is why Rabbana waj'alna muslimaini laka. That is why Ibrahim Islam is saying. That is why إِذْ قَالَ لَهُ رَبُّ أَسْلِمْ. Allah is asking what to Ibrahim Islam. When Allah asked to Ibrahim Islam to submit, he said, Ana aslam to Rabbil Alameen. Why is asking this? If there were other submission, then the ayahs of غَيْرَ دِينِ اللَّهِ يَبْغُونَ وَلَوْ أَسْلَمَ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ طَوْعًا وَكَرْهًا. Now in this Al Imran 3, ayah 4, do they seek other than the judgment of Allah, whosoever is in the skies and there, when voluntarily, willingly or dislikingly submitting to Him. So now, if a person is not willingly submission, then he must be submitting to Allah in any way.
unwillingly submission.
But submission is there. But that Muslim is not referring to right Muslim now in the terminology you are asking.
As we come,
Unwilling, taw'an wa karha. That aslim, the word aslim is there. Walahu aslama, and for him submit. Man fis samawati wal ard, that for him are submitting whoever is in the skies and the earth, taw'a, voluntarily, willingly. Wakarha. So Allah is trying to say that in any case, if you submit to the devil, ultimately you are submitting to Allah, because this is also shaitan and the munafiq and the mushrik and everything is in the Quran. So in all the way you are submitter, whether dislikingly or willingly, positively, or you want to use the word here negatively. But you will be submitting to Allah in any case. That will lead you to fire also. Against you are submitting to Allah, because you are doing wrong and you know you will get the fire, and you are submitting to that and you are getting fire. You understand what I am saying?
Yeah, yeah.
In this dislikingly you are submitting to Allah and getting the fire from in the result. So submission is there. In this ayah it is mentioned here that walau aslama, for him is submitting man fis samawati wal ard taw'an wa karha, willingly or unwillingly, or voluntarily or dislikingly, involuntarily. So in the world, people are, if they say they are submitting to Christianity, so Quran says about that Isa Islam, Allah said they will say that the Christian, that there are people who will say that Christ is God. So they are thinking they are following the Bible. The Bible doesn't say that Christ said that I am God, but the Quran says they reject Isa Islam and they will say Christ is God.
Yeah.
So they are unwilling submitting to the ayahs. In this connection, there are many ayahs that people are falling and submitting unwillingly to those beliefs which is not their belief. It is supposed to be their belief, but it is mentioned in the Quran about the hypocrites, about the mushriks. Hypocrites mean the munafiq. The mushrik are the associates So they are already submitting. They read and they're submitting, and for them it's fire. And they say, yes, we'll go to fire. So it means they're believing in Allah, and they're believing that they will go to fire, and still they're doing it. So this lagging is submit. Total submission, in any case you are submitting to God. But in a language, people are saying that I submit. In Arabic language, they said I submit to Christianity. He said I submit. They use the word Aslim or Salama or Muslim. Aslima. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum.
My name is Naveed.
Yes.
And my question is related to Surah Al-Qasas 28.
Page?
Who are those people? Page number 17. Who are those people who say that we are Muslim before?
Yes.
Because for becoming a Muslim, we have to submit and we have to...
Yes. Muslim means submit, na?
Yes.
So suppose I was not drinking alcohol. I was not doing wrong. You understand some of the ayahs. And when the ayahs are recited to them that this gambling is not right, okay, that ayah. Or do not go near to adultery, that ayah.
Okay.
Those ayahs that a person is submitting without listening to a Quranic ayat, he was already submitting to that he was not going near to adultery, he was not gambling, he was not doing these wrong acts.
Things.
So when he read the ayah and when he read the ayah that Allah is forbidding not to go to these things, so he was already a Muslim for that.
So what's the difference between?
Sorry?
What is the difference between that person who is following?
No, submitting.
Submitting and...
He was already submitting to the essence of the message when delivered to him. Before the reading of the Quran, not after he did not start doing it. You see, there are people who listen to an ayat and they were doing certain things wrong. So then they correct. That also people...
If the case is with non-Muslim...
No, sometimes there are things that a person, when you read an ayah, there are certain things in the Quran which you are doing wrong.
Yes.
So you listen to the ayat and then you submit, become a Muslim. But there are certain things you don't know, but when you read an ayah, you say, I was practicing this, I was already submitted, I knew this was right. You understand? In that context, you are a Muslim submitter from before of that particular ayah. Not the whole Quran. Not the whole Quran, only on those
that part of the...
On those ayahs. That ayah says, whenever the ayahs start with this, whenever the ayat is recited on them, so they said we were Muslims from before, they recognize the truth. What is that ayah?
And it is...
وَإِذَا يُتْلَى عَلَيْهِمْ, when the ayahs are recited over them, قَالُوا آمَنَّا بِهِ, they say we believe with this. إِنَّهُ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّهِمْ, surely this is the truth from our Lord, from our Lord. إِنَّا كُنَّا مِنْ قَبْلِ Muslim, surely we were Muslim submitter from before. In those ayahs, that particular ayahs, that was recited to people, and they were already a submitter to that when they listened to that I am telling you that they were not doing gambling, they were not playing cards, they were not gambling, they were not doing adultery, and when they listened, the ayah says that we should not do, so I will say I was Muslim before, I was submitting to this before. When the ayahs were read to me, not the whole book of the Quran, only those ayahs which I heard and I was already a submitter from before, I said I was a Muslim submitter from before.
Submitter for Allah.
For Allah. When because these ayahs are of Allah. Na? These ayahs were of Allah's ayahs. These are Allah's ayahs. They were recited on me. And I was a submitter of these ayahs from before. Before these ayahs recited to me, I was already submitting to the ayahs. But I didn't know it was written in the Quran. I did not know it was written in the Quran. I was already submitting from before. But when the ayahs were recited, I was confirmed that this is right, this is the truth.
So I have become Muslim.
You were submitter from before.
Okay.
You become a Muslim, you will announce to the world that you have submitted. But you knew that I was submitting from before.
If a non-Muslim is doing the same thing.
No, I am telling you, any human being in the world, there are certain things that he already submits. But he doesn't know what is the truth and what is false. So when he reads the ayah of Quran, there are certain things he is already submitting. Because he has to submit. Allah has made a nature of ours that they will submit. So when he read the ayah, there are certain ayahs he was already submitting from before. So in those ayahs, for those ayahs, he says, I am already a Muslim submitter from before. but not the whole Quran. There are so many things he was doing wrong. So for that he corrects and amends, then he submitted to that. So he's in all his life he is submitting, 1 ayah, 2 ayahs, 3 ayahs, submitter. But at the same time he was also submitting certain ayahs from before. When the ayahs are yes, he said, yes, I submit. From before I was submitting. I had been already agreeing to not to do adultery from before. It was not that it was written in the Quran, he was doing it from before. But when the ayahs were recited to him, he said, yes, I was submitting before. This is agreed, I submit now. Before I was submitting to those essence of the ayat of the message. Thank you.